ChatGerry, the T-Trinity and the VPT System, connecting T-pattern, T-string, T-society, VMT, TDA, and VPT, number 1443, November 21, 2025. Gerald C. EclaireMD Foundation. Category: Concept and Methodology. The T-Trinity and the VPT system describe two sides of human growth. One side is how a person learns, changes, and expands across a lifetime. The other side is how we analyze complex problems using physics and geometry. When combined, they form a simple framework that explains why people succeed, how society advances, and how we can understand disease and health in a deeper way. My friend Professor Magnus S. Magnusson in Iceland created the ideas of T-pattern, T-string, and T-society. He spent decades studying hidden patterns in human and animal behavior. His work uses time-based patterns to understand how people act, and how behaviors repeat. I met him in 2018, and we immediately connected, because we both chase truth with discipline and passion. He approaches behavior from psychology, and I approach disease and health from nonlinear dynamic engineering. Even though our backgrounds look different, our thinking is similar. Both of us study long-term patterns, not isolated events. The T-Trinity has three parts. The first is T-pattern. It describes one person at one point in life. The vertical line of the T means deep knowledge in one subject. The horizontal line means broad knowledge across many subjects. A person with depth only becomes narrow. A person with width only becomes shallow. A T-shaped person avoids both extremes. In my case, my vertical depth is in math, physics, and engineering. My horizontal width extends across AI, semiconductor algorithms, psychology, medicine, economics, and social sciences. This pattern lets me integrate ideas and build new systems. The second part is T-string. This means a long chain of T-patterns across decades of life. Most people stay in one T-shape forever. A rare few evolve again and again. My own T-string covers higher education, engineering, AI development, semiconductor, entrepreneurship, psychology, medical research, social science, charitable programs, and finally VMT plus TDA modeling for medical research work. These 8 segments form a long timeline of learning and reinvention. The third part is T-society. This is the large-scale version. It describes a community or nation where many people develop T-shaped knowledge. In such a society, doctors understand data, engineers understand people, scientists understand communication, and leaders understand biology and public health. This type of society makes fewer mistakes and becomes more innovative. The other side of the framework is the VPT system, which includes VMT, TDA, and their combination. VMT uses stress-strain energy from physics to study chronic diseases. It explains why one sudden peak of blood pressure can rupture a vessel, even when the average looks fine. TDA studies the geometric shape and data connectivity. Over a long period of time, it reveals patterns that statistics cannot see. VPT connects both into a single method that explains how forces act on a system, how internal conditions change, what shapes they form, and how long-term outcomes appear. When we combine the T-Trinity and the VPT system, we get a complete view of human development and scientific reasoning. One side explains how people grow, the other side explains how systems behave, particularly on the applications of diseases and health. Together, they describe my life, work, and the purpose behind all of my medical research work. Disclaimer: I write this paper not for fame, but to share what I have learned so others can understand their health, prevent disease, and live longer, healthier lives. This content is provided for educational reference only, and does not constitute medical or financial advice. No doctor-patient or advisor-client relationship is created. You may share this summary freely, but it must not be altered, edited, or republished as your own. All intellectual property rights and copyrights for this article and its related materials belong to the author, Gerald C.